Happy Vlogmas Day 8. It's Monday. It's 6:45 p.m. I didn't start filming until after I got home from work. I was just running a little bit late this morning, so I didn't even have time to actually empty the dishwasher, which is usually part of my morning routine. So you just saw me do that this evening. So it's like, if I didn't have time to empty the dishwasher, I was not about to pick up the camera. It was a pretty chill day at work, honestly. Just kind of like wrapping my head around the schedule for the rest of the month, moving people around for the holidays and all of that. Was done working probably around 5:10, 5:15, something like that, and wanted to go to the gym. That was my intention at the beginning of the day, to go to the gym, but I could not picture it feeling good to go to the gym, so I didn't. But the December fitness challenge, I think I mentioned earlier in Vlogmas, is walking for, it's like 2.5 miles a day, walking or running 2.5 miles a day, 14 days in December. So I thought, you know what, I will go home, I will walk on my walking pad until I hit that goal. And so it was like 45 minutes walking my walking pad and just watching the YouTubes. And tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. is another yoga sculpt class. So yeah. Oh, I have to make sure one of my yoga towels is clean and dry for tomorrow. And I do need to get to bed early because I would like to wake up at 5 a.m. I thought that maybe I could talk about my goals that I had for this year, for 2025, and then what my goals are for next year. What did I grab my phone for? Just wanted to see where Tyler was. Let's find day 8 first. Ooh, I'm getting better at finding him faster. Which one is it? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay. This one is, oh, okay, so this one's the dark chocolate ganache with strawberry and balsamic vinegar. I'm a little scared. Okay, that's interesting. I can't tell if I like it. I don't dislike it, but it's odd. Oh my God, my bangs are so weird right now. I don't really taste the balsamic. I taste the strawberry. And it's like a really pleasant strawberry flavor. It doesn't taste like fake strawberry, which when I say I don't like fruity flavors, I don't like artificial fruity flavors usually. It actually tastes like a chocolate covered strawberry. I don't taste balsamic vinegar at all. On to my goals. Spoiler alert. This is the first year in recent memory, but also just like looking at my resolutions and intentions tracker that dates back to 2019. This is the first year I have actually accomplished every single goal I had for the year. I did it. I did all of them. I had a total of 6 goals from 2 of 3 different categories. So I had 2 career goals, 2 academic goals, and 2 personal goals. My career goals were to complete hours for licensure and pass the clinical exam. So you can't pass the clinical exam until you complete your hours for licensure. So I knew I'd be completing my hours for licensure in 2025. That was a given. Just the pace that I was going with how many hours of seeing clients, I knew that would happen. Passing the clinical exam, I didn't know would happen because I could study for that and not pass, basically. So I completed my hours in April of 2025, and then I heard back from the BBS that my hours were approved in August and scheduled my test in September. So I gave myself a month to study, and I took the test on, I think it was September 12th. And I passed, and I actually filmed that week it's called passing or taking the LMFT clinical exam or something like that. So I became a licensed marriage and family therapist this year, which is a huge milestone for anyone who's a therapist. Like, passing your clinical test is a huge deal. And it's actually, for a lot of people, kind of where they stop. Not that they stop doing therapy, but they, you know, I have more milestones ahead because I'm also getting my PhD, but this is what you work towards, is getting licensed, because now I could, if I wanted to, start my own private practice and all of that. I had 2 academic goals. One of them was to propose my dissertation, so this is different than defending my dissertation, and the other was to pass my doc exam. So the doc exam is a 2-part exam. You have a written portion and a presentation portion. Your written portion is a 30-page paper on the theory that you work from. And then the presentation is you showing a video that includes sessions of your work with one particular family or couple over time. And it's the video is demonstrating that you are using the theory that you wrote about in your paper. And you present this video and basically have to defend this video and potentially defend your paper as well to a committee. I did it and I passed. That was October 10th. And so once you pass, if you're on the track that I am to get my PhD, once you pass the doc exam, you officially become a PhD candidate. You are eligible to defend your dissertation. You cannot defend your dissertation until you pass the doc exam. At least that's per the program that I am in. I proposed my dissertation in February. So proposing your dissertation is saying to your committee, this is the research study that I want to do. Do you approve it? So I got that approved. But yeah, my September and October were so busy because I was studying for the clinical exam to get my license, which is separate from PhD stuff. And then as soon as I took the clinical exam, which thankfully I passed, but even if I didn't, because you have to wait like 3 months if you don't pass the clinical to retake it, even if I didn't pass it, I'd be jumping into the next thing, which would be preparing for my doc exam. And then as soon as my doc exam was over and I passed that or didn't pass it, then I had to jump into preparing for the conference, where I had 3 presentations that I was doing at the International Conference of Contextual Therapy that was in Belgium, which I vlogged that, and that's also on YouTube. And it's kind of related. It is related to one of my personal goals, which was to travel to a new country. So yes, it was for something like academic, which was my conference that I spoke at, but I also got to explore a new country, which was one of my goals for the year, was to go to a new country because I love to travel and I want to visit as many countries as I possibly can in my lifetime. So it was just a really crazy busy couple of months, and just boom, 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 one thing after another, and a lot of milestones that I passed, which was really, really cool. And then my last personal goal was to read 15 books for fun. So not for work, not for school, but for fun. And I hit that in May. I kind of lowballed myself. I don't know. I think I just needed some low-hanging fruit, which I mentioned in this version of this video last Vlogmas. I knew it would be something easy to hit, but sometimes you just need that. So, but yeah, I did it, which felt really good when I could say in October that I achieved all of the goals I set out for the year, and I still had 2 more months left of the year. That was such a good feeling. So moving on to my 2026 intentions, I also kind of have them by category. One of them I actually still need to write down because it's sort of a newly developed goal that I have. But so my 2 academic goals are related, but I just wanted to separate them. One of them is to pass my dissertation. Oh, it says proposal. Oh, I'll edit it later, but I mean defense. To pass my dissertation defense. So where I'm at right now with my dissertation, I have finished collecting data for my research study. I have been interviewing people, and so each interview had a transcript that I had to edit and then code, and I can get into like qualitative research in another video if anyone is in any way curious, or maybe not, I don't know, whatever. But I'm doing a qualitative research study, so I am interviewing people. The data is, rather than it being numbers, it's words. It's like what my participants have been saying. So I code it, and then I find like common themes amongst all of the research participants, or most of the research participants. So right now I have some working themes that I'm kind of playing around with, and even like a theory of what's going on with the population that I have been studying. So I'm pretty ahead actually in terms of where maybe my colleagues are. I'm like a little bit ahead. So I'm feeling okay with, I've been slowing down a little bit the past couple of months. But yeah, my goal is to, of course, in order to graduate, which my graduation date is in May, I have to finish writing my dissertation and defend it in the spring of, or basically by April of next year. I would like to, like in March, like end of March, just in case I don't pass my defense, so I have time to do any like revisions or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely have to pass my dissertation defense next year in order to graduate. It's kind of the last thing I have to do before getting my PhD. Then my other academic goal is, of course, graduating with my doctorate, which I should be walking across that stage and getting my hood and everything in May. And then I have more personal goals for next year, because I'm going to be done being a student for the latter half of the year. I would like to perform in a play. I have not done a play since my very first semester of the PhD program, and I kind of miss it. And a friend of mine is directing something over the summer, and she did express interest in having me be in it. I don't know what part I would play, or maybe she changes her mind, I don't know, whatever. But there's plenty of time, and there are plenty of plays for me to audition for, and I think it would be just fun to get back on stage. So at least one play I'd like to perform in next year. And as always, I would love to travel to a new country. My friends and Tyler and I are talking about maybe going to Scotland next fall. Never been to Scotland, so that could be fun. Another personal goal, I want to get another tattoo, and there's a tattoo I've been really wanting. Another personal goal is to read 30 books. So I'm doubling last year's goal. But if I continue to read for fun at the pace that I read in 2025, it's still kind of a low-hanging fruit sort of goal, because this year I read 41. Technically, one of them was academic and another one was for work. I bought a book for one of my clients, and I wanted to kind of vet it before I gave it to her, so I consider that more for work. So for fun, I guess you could say I read 39 books, and that's with still a little bit less than a month to go for the year. So yeah, it's still low-hanging fruit, but it's higher than before. And honestly, I used to have goals of like read 100 books in a year, or like read 52 books, blah, blah, blah. And at this point in my life, I'm valuing maybe like quality over quantity with a lot of things in general. I mean, I've had like my minimalist era, which I guess I'm still minimalist maybe compared to the average person, but so that's something that's been like a theme in my life for the past, I guess, 10 years or whatever. But I think when it comes to like reading too, because if I'm reading so much, so many books, am I really retaining it? I don't know. Am I really taking it in? Like at that point, what's the point? If it's just like tally marks, it starts to become hollow for me. Yeah, I read for entertainment, but I also have been really challenging myself with the type of literature I've been reading lately anyway. It's not just like the cotton candy kind of books, which, hey, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think there's definitely value in reading books that are just kind of easy to read and fluffy, or like, I don't know, just not very intellectually challenging. But I have also been enjoying reading books that are a little bit more outside my comfort zone when it comes to the types of stories that are told, and the prose, and it's like the writing style is a little bit different. I don't think I'd want to increase my reading goal to anything higher than 30 books, because then I start to find myself in that pattern again of like just more, and then it reaches a point of diminishing returns regarding like the value of the actual act of reading. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I don't know. I hope I make sense. Okay. And then my second to last goal, also personal, is to pay off my car loan. I bought my car, it'll be 2 years come January. And so I think I guess it's a 5-year loan. But I don't know. I don't even remember what the interest rate is, but I told Tyler about it, and Tyler's a financial advisor, and because I was like, is it worth paying it off or just like continuing with the payment that I have set up? And the interest rate is high enough that it's worth paying it off as early as I can. So I've been more than doubling my monthly payment, and then I'm planning on, whenever I get kind of like extra lump sums of money, like my tax return next year, which hopefully is, because I'm still a student, it gets me a boost in my tax return. So hopefully with my tax return, and then I have like a 3 payday month at some point earlier in the year next year, that I could just use that paycheck, or like most of that extra paycheck, to make a big payment on my car. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping to pay off my car loan before the end of next year, and I have like 8,000 or like 8,100 left on that, and I think I can do it if I'm disciplined about it, because honestly, like that payment, like right now, if I'm paying more than $600 a month on my car, that could go towards savings, or like that could go towards my student loans. Last goal of the year, this I would consider a career goal, and it's still kind of in flux. The fact that I haven't written it down yet probably suggests sort of it's not quite tangible yet in terms of how I would word it. I'm playing around with a couple of different ideas. So where I'm working right now, I do really value my job, and I adore my clients, and the work I do is really fulfilling. And at the same time, once I get my PhD, I picture that opening up other doors for me. I really do want to teach. I have technically been hired at a private practice as well. It's just they don't get a ton of referrals, so I don't have any clients there yet. But it is a private practice that does narrative therapy, which is the type of therapy that I am really, really interested in. I guess I consider myself a narrative therapist. I do narrative therapy with my clients, but also like as a licensed therapist now, I don't get supervision anymore. And even when I did, it wasn't specific narrative supervision, which this place I will be getting specific narrative supervision, which is completely voluntary supervision. As a licensed therapist, I don't need it anymore, but at the same time, like, I want to be the best narrative therapist I can be, and it would be mentorship under someone who does narrative therapy in a way that I really respect and admire. So I technically work there, but I haven't started working there because I don't have clients there yet. But so sort of the goal that I'm playing around with is whether it's numerical, like having a caseload of 10 clients at this private practice by the end of the year. I don't know. When I really picture what my life will look like during Vlogmas next year, I don't know if I see myself at my current job. And that's really scary. I don't know if I want to call it scary. That feels like a strong way of describing it, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna want something different. Again, the job is very, very fulfilling, and there's the shit sandwich. Like, every job has a shit sandwich. I don't remember where I heard that, but it really stuck with me. I don't think I can take credit for it. Or maybe I did come up with, no, I don't know. But just the idea that like, there's something about every single job that you're not gonna like. There is no perfect job. Every job, there's a part of every single job that you're not gonna like. I just believe that. I don't know. But please prove me wrong. If you have a job that you love every single minute of, let me know. And like, I need to know what you do. And then also, like, are you working 40 hours a week? And also, what's your Myers-Briggs? I don't know. Like, you need to know how your personality type fits into what you do. Because my job fits my personality type very well. Even the position that I have at my job, because it's both management and sort of like administrative and clinical. So I get to do things that like really fit with different parts of my personality and my strengths and all of that. And yet there's a shit sandwich because you're dealing with like government bureaucracy that I'm not even gonna get into. I don't know. And any job is gonna have a shit sandwich. I work closely with faculty at my university, and like, this is a person who's doing a job that I can see myself doing, being a professor. And working closely with her, I'm learning that that role has a lot of bureaucratic bullshit too. Like, there's so much that goes behind the scenes that students don't know. And as a student, you can sit and like, you know, see your professor as someone you look up to and like in a role that you want to have for yourself, and not know all of that goes on behind the scenes. And so I appreciate her being transparent, or as transparent as she can be, because I want to go into something like that. Like, if I am going more into the academia route, I want to do that with both of my eyes open. So yeah, I don't know whether it's teaching or continuing more with private practice, or maybe I am at my position a year from now still and not teaching, or maybe I do move up more in management where I am now, although I don't know how happy I would be with that. I don't know about that. That feels to me like I can see myself doing that. I can see myself, if someone above me at my clinic were to like move on to a different place, I can see myself applying to the next position above me, and I can see myself even getting that position. But would I be happy in that position? I don't know. I'm of all the positions at my clinic, I am in the one that I think is like the best fit for me, because I get to be both in clinical land and also administrative land. And if it were just administrative land and not clinical land, I don't think I'd be very happy there in the long run. It would ultimately just be like for a higher paycheck, and yeah. But then I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what'll happen in 2026? Something different. Maybe it's just like something different with my career, and that's what it is. Whatever that looks like. I do think maybe it should include a certain number of private practice clients. That does directly relate to the type of work I want to be doing long term, which is narrative therapy. Whether I'm always going to be working with clients, which I do see myself always working with clients, but also I kind of need to be doing that if I ever want to be writing about my work or teaching more about this type of work. I think it's important to also be doing the work that you're writing about and teaching about and everything. So there's something there with the caseload. I just don't know like what that number is. I want a different texture to my day-to-day. I'm really looking ahead at past this PhD, and I can picture the first 5 months of 2026 pretty clearly. I know what that looks like. And then after 5 months, it just starts to get really blurry and like all these different paths appear. As much as I really want to be done with school, and when I think about how excited I am to graduate, I also have to remind myself that at least while I'm a student, I know what the near future holds. Whereas when I'm not a student anymore, I don't get to say that. And it's exciting, but also like, oh my God. Oh, so I don't know. So that's it. Those are my goals for 2025. I achieved them. This was a really good year. Thank you so much for watching. If you do feel so inclined, you can comment what some of your goals are in 2026, and or not, and just be a quiet viewer, and that's okay too. But I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas day 9, bright and early. Oh my God.